Hello, I'm Dr. David Murphy. I'm a physician, I'm a psychotherapist. I'm based in Leamington, Ontario. And today I'd like to talk about well-being. So what is well-being? When we have well-being, life is good. We're enjoying life, we're connecting with people, we're going to work, we're having fun, we're participating in recreational activities, and we have the ability to cope with the ups and downs in life, with those so-called bumps in the road. We have the energy and the mental, emotional, physical resources to deal with those events. When our well-being starts to decline, life starts to feel difficult. We start to have difficulty coping with those ups and downs in life. It just sometimes all seems just a little bit too much. We might find we're getting involved in conflicts at work or at home. Relationships might be difficult. At this time, we might start to need help from family or friends to get back on track and to help us to find the solutions to those problems that we're finding just more and more difficult. If our well-being declines even further, we might start to develop a mental health problem. We might then start to need the occasional sick day. We might need a mental health day. We might have existing physical illnesses getting worse and needing time off work. We might have difficulty managing at work, coping with those day-to-day activities at work. We might start to neglect social events. We stop participating in our recreational activities. We start to neglect our relationships. There might be increasing relationships problems. And now, this time, we might start to think that we need help from somebody else to get us through this difficult time. This can be from family or friends, or sometimes even professional help to get us back into our state of well-being. Now, if our well-being deteriorates even further when we have a mental health problem, we might start to develop a mental health illness. And now we might find we're unable to work. We're just incapable of carrying out those day-to-day tasks at work. A relationship at home and work start to break down significantly. We might start to avoid people altogether. We'll stop participating in our recreational social activities. We'll stop being able to have fun. And then we might be in a situation where we actually have a disability from work. We might need help from insurance companies or sick time off in that way, other sick time support. And at this time, we almost certainly do need professional help as well as support from our family and friends or perhaps from co-workers. So what are the signs of decline in well-being? It's really important to know that so we don't get from a decline in well-being to a mental health problem, to a mental health illness. We want to be able to prevent that from happening. So we need to be able to recognize when our well-being is declined. Well, I think well-being can be measured in many different ways. How our mind functions, our physical well-being, our emotional well-being, our spiritual well-being, and material well-being. And when our mind doesn't function well, when our well-being deteriorates, we start to get forgetful. We can't focus. We can't concentrate. Might start reading a page in a book and realize we've read it 5 times and can't remember any of it. We forget medical appointments or other appointments that are important to us. We start to be problem-focused and find difficulties finding solutions. When our physical well-being deteriorates, we get tired. We just get fatigued. We might start finding we want to sleep a lot. Or it might be because our thoughts are racing about all those problems that we can't get to sleep. We might find, too, that any physical problem we have now deteriorates in some way. So the physical problem going from being an irritant to being a real problem. And then when we have emotional well-being decline, we start having difficulties managing our emotions. We either overreact, become irritable, easily annoyed, temper tantrums, or we might underreact. We might feel that we just can't feel pleasure. Nothing is important anymore. If we overreact, we might start to have anxiety attacks or panic attacks. And spiritual well-being, I'm not talking about religion here. I'm talking about spirituality in the sense of feeling that life has a sense of meaning or purpose. When our spiritual well-being declines, we start to feel that life is pointless. What am I doing here? What is the point of all this? Work becomes unimportant, and our relationships might be unimportant. Just purpose seems to disappear from us when our spiritual well-being declines. And then material well-being. Well, we all need money. We have basic needs. We need a roof over our head. We need food on the table. We need heat for our dwelling. If we don't have those sorts of financial resources, then life is going really badly. And of course, if our financial resources are affected, that affects our mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Even if we don't have enough money for our usual recreational activities. Some people now with COVID are finding it very difficult because they're used to taking a trip. They might have gone to Florida for the winter to get to escape winters. And now they don't have the ability to do that. If you're in a situation where you just don't have the money to do that, that will affect your mental well-being. So what to do when you start to notice a decline in well-being? Well, it's time to take care of yourself. It's time to be a little selfish. It's time to make yourself a priority. It's also time to reach out for help. Reach out to family, to friends, to co-workers you trust. It might be time to find professional help and support that helps you to get through these important times. In the meantime, a great way of taking care of yourself is to start to notice the positive in your life. Instead of focusing on the problems, get into a solution focus. Start to be grateful for what you have. Every day, write down 5 things that you're grateful for. You can do that in the morning. Write down 5 things you're grateful for in your life that day. And as the day goes on, start to notice things that are happening you can be grateful for. And in the evening, write down 5 things you're grateful for that happen just that particular day. It might be something a friend or a family member did for you. You might have seen something outside that just made you feel good. Just write all those things down. Start to get in touch with the positive in your life, and in particular, reach out for help and talk about the problem. We do know when we talk out loud about a problem, all of a sudden it doesn't seem as big of a problem anymore, and we also start to find our own solutions. Reach out and talk. I'm Dr. David Murphy. I'll be talking to you again. Thanks for listening.